Today we've got a new printer in the shop, and this one's from Elegoo, but it's not the Elegoo you're probably thinking. This is the Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus. Now, when Elegoo originally reached out to me asking if I'd be interested in testing out the Neptune 4 Plus, I was like, well, it's kind of an older machine, but sure, I'm always down for new machines in the shop. So let's get this thing unboxed, set up, and we're gonna put it to use on the rack behind me. Those of you who have been around the channel for any length of time will know I'm a fan of Elegoo. I'm a fan of what they do, especially with that new Centauri Carbon. I'd love to see one of those in the shop in the near future. But most importantly, I'm a fan of their filament. As you might know, I use quite a bit of their filament throughout all of my printers in the shop. Now, the Neptune 4 Plus is arguably going to be my largest printer here in the shop, even bigger than the Qidi Plus 4. And yes, even bigger than the FL Sun in terms of height and overall width. Now, some of you might be saying, well, the FL Sun's got that super high. No, it doesn't. It's a cone shape. You get about 380 millimeters until you hit that point where the FL Sun can no longer continue to build straight up, and it starts to cone up. Now, with all that said, while I am a fan of Elegoo, I'm not a huge fan of assembling printers, so I'm hoping this isn't going to be too in-depth, but I suppose we will find out. I think there's supposed to be a spool there. Good thing they sent over a spool of gray PLA+. This is what I can only assume is a ginormous fan. Now, I'm not going to make this thing any more boring than it has to be in terms of unboxing and setup. I'm going to get through that, and we're going to actually put this printer to use in today's video. So we can see things a little bit better as they come out of the box. I've gone ahead and lowered the Flexi Spot desk down to a more reasonable height. This shouldn't be too difficult to assemble based off of what I'm seeing here. But well, let's continue getting everything out of the box. That's everything in there. We've got our screen. And that's everything in the box. So after about 1 hour of assembly and going back and forth between their pretty good instructional video on the USB drive that's included, we've got the machine all assembled and ready to go. Let's get it onto the table behind me, get it plugged in, and get it set up doing its calibration and first use. One more thing to note before we plug it in is there is a switch on the left-hand side to switch your power from 230 volt to 115 volt, depending on where you are in the world. I've gone ahead and switched mine over already to the 115 volts since we are here in the United States, and that is what we use for power over here for most things anyway. Just a little size comparison there between the A1 Mini and the Neptune 4 Plus. Just slightly bigger. But does it perform just as well? So we're going to go to level, and this is going to home the machine into the center. Now it wants us to adjust the Z offset down until we feel some tension on the piece of paper itself. Then we'll hit auxiliary. Basically we'll go through and do the exact same thing we just did in the center, twisting these little adjustment knobs until we receive tension. Going to go through the full bed mesh and do its automatic bed leveling to calibrate any inconsistencies within the bed. A little bit different from what I'm sure most people are used to in today's day and age of 3D printers, but it is quite a large machine, so we'll see how this machine actually performs after it goes through all of its calibration processes. This is something similar that I had to do on my Ender 3 Max Neo when I first got it in, but we're not even going to talk about that machine because it's, well, yeah. I will say the process on this machine has been far easier than the one over on the Ender, and this also has what looks to be a 36-point bed mesh, so should give us a pretty good representation of how out of whack we are. Overall, we are not too bad, 0.1 millimeter maybe. We're going to roll with it and see what happens. Before I connect it to Wi-Fi or do anything like that, I am going to get it loaded up with some filament here. This will feed it down through there and into the extruder head. Adding the printer, super simple process. Come into here, we have the Neptune 4 Plus with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and we are going to connect it through Wi-Fi. So I'll enter the printer's IP address, and we are connected. I'm going to use my standard profile for Elegoo's PLA, and I'm going to shut off pressure advance just because they have it shut off. We're going to limit this to 15 like they had it limited to, and I'm going to save this as Neptune. One thing that I was not aware of until just right now, going online to see if Elegoo possibly had a model repository yet, they offer a military discount, as well as a healthcare discount and a first responder discount. So that is really, really cool. That's not something I've seen from, I think, any other printer company before. So props to you, Elegoo. We appreciate it. All right, so I found a model on Printables from He3Leo, or if you want to say it. I'll link it down in the description below if you're interested in downloading it for yourself. Little planter model here. I'm going to print it using Orca Slicer. They did include their version of Elegoo Slicer, which is kind of a port of Cura Slicer, and I am not a fan of Cura at all. We will take a look at it, but I much prefer using Orca Slicer for all of my prints. Going to print it at a 0.26 millimeter layer height, 2 walls, 3 top and bottom layers, and we're going to be using just standard Elegoo PLA. We will hit print, and it should upload to the machine, and then this thing should get on its merry way. This will be my first time using an Elegoo printer, and obviously the first time using this printer aside from what they did from factory. I'm going to let it go through its little calibration process and start printing. We'll come back when it starts printing. So far, so good. It does look like my Z offset is slightly too high, so we'll adjust that on the screen actively and see when we get a good quality there. Alright, and I'm going to let it do its thing. It's looking like a really, really good first layer now. My Z offset is set to minus 1.870. Yours will likely be different. All right, and a couple hours later, we've got our first print off of the Neptune 4 Plus. Bottom layer looks really, really good. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it from how far away the camera is, but I printed this at a 0.26 millimeter layer height, and we did have a minor adjustment we had to make with the bottom layer in terms of the Z offset originally, but as we adjusted it, it got really, really good in there. This has 2 walls, really nice structural strong print. The bridging underneath where it went over these overhangs also looks really good. Almost like it didn't actually have to print in thin air. So that's really surprising. There are some VFAs on the inside, but I mean nothing that's out of the ordinary or that I wouldn't see on any of the other printers. I'm actually very impressed with how this came out on this machine. I had heard some things in the past with some of the Neptune machines in terms of bed adhesion due to how big the bed is. I can confidently say that at least for the first print, is not an issue at all. And it's not like you can't see the layer lines. Again, it was printed at a 0.26 millimeter layer height, but this guy's going to be a great addition to our print farm. And the build volume, well, that's just icing on the cake, right? 320, I believe 320 by 320 by 385. So if we do some quick math here, so a little over 12.5 by 12.5 in terms of the X and Y, and then just over 15 inches tall is our max build volume. Pretty large size, especially for a machine that took us a little over an hour to get assembled. Obviously it does have the manual adjuster knobs in there. You have to go through when you first start it with a piece of paper like a lot of us were used to with some of the older style printers. The automatic bed leveling that it performs afterwards, I guess all I can say is I'm impressed. To be completely honest, I wasn't expecting that on the first go. Just, again, from stuff that I'd seen in the past, reviews on some of these machines from other owners, I was expecting to have to do a little bit more right out of the box than I did. I don't know what to say, except for it worked. Just loaded up some of the wood color PLA from Elegoo into the Elegoo Neptune 4 Plus. Kind of fit him. Since this thing is capable of printing quite large, 12.5 by 15 or so inches, we're going to print something large. As many of you have pointed out in the past, I could use a trash can or two in here aside from the one over there, specifically under my desk. What about this? I mean, obviously not this size, but what if we printed one that was like, I don't know, 3 times this size? That's what we're going to try anyways. I'm going to get into the slicer, load this file up, try to scale it a little bit larger, and see how big we can make this without making it an overly long print. This one takes about 7 hours on the P1P. It's got quite a bit of wall thickness to it, so this one in particular doesn't work. I'll find another one that maybe isn't so thick and doesn't use quite as much material. All right, so the one that I've picked out is a little bit different than this guy. This was going to take like a day and a half because of how thick it is. This is a topology map from 3D Meeks, again, over on Thangs. I'll link his page down in the description below. This guy's going to take just under 10 hours to print. We'll use about 400 grams of filament, but it should be a pretty good representation of what this thing can print. Now, I didn't scale it up completely because going much larger than 250%, you end up with some overhangs here that once scaled up actually probably won't print very well. In fact, I'm curious to see how they're going to print at 250%, but I'm going to send it anyways. Obviously, I'm not going to record an entire time lapse of this, but we will periodically check in, see how it's doing. It's also worth noting, I'm going to print this at a 0.28 millimeter layer height just to cut down on some of the time that it takes to print, especially since, well, I could use this thing in the shop and I probably will. It's not something that I'm going to print to sell, so I don't want to waste too much filament and too much time. What I really want to do is get this thing producing some product for us. I don't know how well you're able to see this on camera, but aside from this little area here where got some kind of rippling effect, likely from me touching the build plate, this is a really, really smooth first layer, like super smooth. I'm also very excited because of the overly large build plate, for me anyway. That said, this guy again is going to take about 10 hours or so we will periodically check back in and see how it's doing. Well, it's the next morning and our print is all finished up. Comes off the build plate, super easy, just as you would expect from PLA. So obviously on the top layer we've got stair stepping, where the layers build up as it goes around this curve. That's to be expected, especially printing at a 0.28 millimeter layer height. There are a few areas in here where I noticed some gaps where I'll put them up on screen right now, but I mean overall, for a 10-hour print at a 0.28 millimeter layer height, this doesn't look bad at all. Should be a nice little trash can. I probably could have done more than 5% infill. That probably would have helped with some of the gaps that we see. More than 2 walls also probably would have helped. The only other thing that I notice is on the inside, right about here, there is kind of a hard line going around the piece. Not super noticeable, but it is there. One thing worth noting, is I do think we could fix a lot of the, I'll say, inconsistencies or VFAs on the inside of this print if the table that this machine was sitting on didn't wobble. If it was sitting on a more sturdy table, my guess is that we would see far fewer of those than we actually do. I can't say for certain unless I move it onto a far sturdier table, but for the purposes of what this machine is going to be used for, especially considering I won't be printing at a 0.28mm layer height for products that I'm going to be selling, and I do plan on anchoring this to the wall in one way or another and making it a little bit more sturdy than it is right now, I'm happy. We will be seeing a lot more of the Neptune 4 Plus on the channel in some upcoming videos as we integrate it into our print farm environment. If you're interested in seeing more of this printer along with all of the other stuff that I've got going on here in my little print farm, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy this type of content and can help promote it to other people like you. And I want to say a huge thank you to Elegoo for sending over the Neptune 4 Plus. It is going to be a great addition to the print farm. That is all for this one, folks. I will see you in the next one. Take care, and I hope you all have an awesome day. See ya.